Alright, everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. Apologies for being MIA, but this has just been kind of a week, long week dealing with family stuff, a lot of other things on the back burner, along with the fact that it has just been boiling hot recently. It hasn't really been conducive to recording videos. It's the same today. It is still really stinking hot. I'm already sweating inside my own skin here. But like I mentioned the last couple of times, I'm going to try to do these recordings without a fan, just so there isn't any distractions or background noise or things like that. With that said, though, today my plan is only to get around to Shonen Jump stuff. Read-throughs will resume next week once the weather's cooled down a little bit, so it's not too harsh, being in a stuffy room trying to record for hours on end. So read-throughs will hopefully be back next week once things settle down a little bit. But this weekend I will definitely get out Shonen Jump stuff. So we're getting around to the last 2 chapters of Akane-Banashi. We're going to get around to Kaiju number 8. We're going to get around to the new Spy Family chapter as well. So lots to look forward to. So if you haven't already, as always, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm getting closer and closer to my goal of 169 subscribers. I'm only 6 away now from reaching that goal. So if you'd like to help me reach the funny number, it'd be really greatly appreciated. Would really mean a lot to me. So yeah, if you haven't already, please do consider doing all of that stuff. Without further ado, let us get into it with Akane-Banashi, Story 70. I do like the title. Is you have the Rakugoka Shinta Arakawa. So you have story by Yuki Suenaga, art by Takamasa Moe. And you see as Akane sitting on the stage. I assume this was like camera flash or like the lights on her face. Of course, sorry. So you have translation by Stephen Paul, lettering by Sneer Iran. And you have Akane thinking, why? Why is this moment flashing through my mind right now? She's thinking back to her father, saying, gotta be a Shinichi, or I can't make my family happy. And her thinking about her father telling her mother, like, only 8 people came to my solo event. And she's like, I love Dad's art, and I want people to recognize its greatness. And of course, you have Rakugo supervision by Kiki Hayashiya. And you see him try to psych himself up with I'm gonna be Shinichi, I'm gonna be Shinichi. It's like, and yet, it's like, fine. You'll want something to nibble on with your sake, right? I'll go and buy some Oden for you. It's like, huh? Wait. Why are you trying to leave me? What was it? Zenmai in the background's going, feels kind of low energy to me. And Akane's continuing with, shouldn't your first move be to ask what your exalted husband wants to eat? I guess she's given up on winning. And you have, God, I'm sorry, my brain is so frazzled right now. I cannot remember their names. Give me a quick second. Let me look this up again. Kaiichi, that's it. Kaiichi's like, it's only curtains when you've truly given up. Are you, sorry, so he goes, I wouldn't be so sure, Ani-san. It's only curtains when you've truly given up. So are you saying that to her or to me? He's like, I mean, you can see the outcome already, right? The judges will grade her skill highly, but there's been no big reaction from the audience. After this point in changing time, all that's left is for the husband to reveal his love for his wife, capped off by a bit of foolishness, and that's it. There's nothing that will really grab the crowd. Nothing that will increase her points with the in-person audience or the streaming one. This one's all over. Hikaru Arakawa's won fair and square. She doesn't have even the tiniest chance of winning. Man. Alright, we'll see how the chapter goes before I kind of pass judgment, but it feels like it's setting up for what I at least wanted to happen, but we'll wait and see. And you have Akane going, don't waver. You decide to use your dad's art, and you see her doing the whole grabbing the back of her neck thing that her dad did. Is again, you decide to use your dad's art and win in your own way. And you have, what's wrong? Why do you look so worried? And you see her having a little dream moment where she's imagining meeting with her younger self just sitting on a bench. Should I guess? It's because you're not sure anymore, right? You've met all these different people since becoming a Rakugoka. And she thinks back to Hikaru telling her, I became a Rakugoka so that I could beat you, Akane Arakawa. And of, God. Sorry, give me a second. My brain is Kaiichi saying, I know, but if I can't be happy, there's no way I can make my family happy. Is it can come to face with the strength of their feelings. And you felt that they were different from our dad, huh? After having a heart-to-heart with Dad's nin, you realized something, didn't you? That the Rakugo Shinta Arakawa was a weak person. When you see baby Akane also just looking like a little bit sad. He's like, but wait, Rakugo stories are your friends. Does that mean weak people can't have friends? It's like, does a Rakugoka have to be strong? And you have, listen closely, Akane. The thing about Rakugo is, and that was Shiguma telling her that, he goes, well, go out there and buy me some Oden already, you homely wench. You have now she's gone. What's your problem anyway? Waiting around all night for an old drunk like me to come home? She's a good woman, a good wife, too good for the likes of me. You have Akane going, I thought, up until now, I thought my dad's art was incredible. It was a dream I chased after, but because of that, I lost sight of the true nature of his art. My dad isn't strong like them. Well, that's exactly why. It's like, I'm a stubborn man of Edo. I put up a front to hide my feelings, but the truth is, I'm full of gratitude to my wife. I'd be nothing without her. It's like the people in my dad's stories feel so kind and warm. It's like every day I say a silent prayer in my heart. I worship you, wifey. It's like, that's it. I realize now that it was dad's weakness I loved. It's like, you are the sun in my sky. And she does a little prayer and it's like bows, looks back up and you have an as the character imagines the wife just standing there being all like taken aback by this praise. It's like, why are you still here? Go out and get my Oden. And you see the audience finally like laughing and clapping. And you have Shiguma going, Rakugo stories are not tales of heroism. They're full of proud men, drunks, lechers, and fools. They tell tales of ordinary people who are far from perfect, failing in various ways. And in stories like that, even weakness can be a weapon. It's fine to be weak. It's just another flavor of the human experience. And you see Maikuru watching this and going, you figured it out, Akane. She's continuing her performance. So, again, I guess thoughts on this chapter. Man, it's hard because on the one hand, again, I feel like I still stand by my critiques, kind of like my ideas, thoughts, feelings, where I'm like, I feel like Akane still needs to face some kind of loss, but I feel like this is setting up for her, you know, eking out a victory and coming out on top of this performance. And again, to me, so far from what we've seen of it, like, it doesn't have the same impact as the prior ones have had. Like, it doesn't feel like it has been a winning performance. And I mean, part of that could tie into like the whole theme of this, like, where, you know, it's like, oh, you know, being weak is fine. You don't always have to be strong or powerful or this or that. You know, there's different flavors, experiences to Rakugo. You know, and that's like the best part of it, with like sampling all the different, you know, varieties, flavors of the human experience, all that kind of stuff. Going like hand in hand with that kind of makes sense to be like, all right, you know, like, yeah, you know, it doesn't have to be like, each performance doesn't have to be one that, you know, knocks you off your feet, knocks the ball out of the park, so to speak. But, you know, there's no real emotional shift or connection for me, specifically with Connie's performance so far. And I feel like that's the big thing that's really been holding these last couple of chapters back, is we're having Akane kind of reflect on, you know, why she became a Rakugoka, what she wants to get out of her performances, like, you know, what the legacy of her father is. But I feel like it isn't really being fully connected or tied to her father, or like the stuff we're finding out about him, or the aspects of it that are being linked to the performance. Like the parts at the end where, you know, it's talking about, like, you know, her father being like, oh, you know, I really appreciate everything that my wife's done for me, like, you know, everything she's been like, you know, everything she's done for me, everything that she takes care of, like, you know, all that she does, it's done to support me. I feel like it would be a lot more impactful if we'd seen Akane talk to her mother about her father, you know, try to find out more about him, like more about what he was like as a person, more so than the, you know, the idealized image she had of him as a storyteller. And I feel like having those aspects of it would have tied a lot of this narrative together better, especially with Akane at the end, you know, where she's being like, you know, like, you know, I didn't see my dad I didn't realize like what exactly I loved about my father's stories because I kind of lost sight of it. This was kind of like what I really appreciated about his art. I feel like if we had done a little bit, if Akane had done a little bit of a deeper dive into her father, kind of talked to everyone that knew him, learned about the different facets and aspects of his personality, I feel like all of that would tie this narrative in better than just, kind of telling us and kind of like expositing it at us. So yeah, like it feels like, there's a strong narrative there. It just feels like there wasn't enough setup work done for it, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think I like the chapter, but I feel like it wasn't as compelling or as good as it could have been, if that makes sense. But we'll see what the next chapter is like. We'll see if what happens. Like it really depends on what Akane's performance ends up finishing with. Who the winners are, stuff like that. What the follow from all of this is. I feel like I have to see that first before I kind of really give my complete overhaul thoughts on this. Especially also feel like I do need to read this arc all in one go as well to kind of really cement my feelings. But we'll see. We'll see if my thoughts on it do change or not. But I really just want to get it out there, kind of like why I specifically haven't been feeling. Because I know a bunch of my friends on Twitter have been really loving this, and it kind of missed me out a little bit that I'm not feeling the same way. But we'll see. Maybe the next chapter will sell me on this. But yeah, so far it really hasn't done that. With all that said, like I mentioned at the beginning, if you haven't already, please do consider commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff, especially if you liked my video, especially if you enjoyed all this critique. Like I mentioned, all the other Shonen Jump videos will be out today as well, so look forward to that. And until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.